Before I get to the new case, I want to explain why I'm upgrading. This is the DG-77 from EVGA. I lusted after this case. I saw it when it originally came out and I love the looks of it. The thing I hate the most about the case is the buttons up here. But a few other things that I immediately saw and I wasn't happy about, but I was like, you know, it doesn't matter, it's still a nice looking case. Plastic. Cheap plastic. Yeah. It's unnecessary plastic. To make things worse, this plastic is not only not as great as it sounds, it's people will think that this plastic trim is okay. No. Because the worst part about this case, oh, I guess I didn't get that in the way. Oh well, doesn't matter. Is the fact that this plastic is not only a bit of an annoyance, it's very restrictive. They designed these fan louvers where almost half of it's being blocked by this plastic for looks. Believe it or not, this redirects the fan air back into the fans and also out into the sides and down back into the case. I get crappy airflow through these three fans up here. After a few months of using the DG-77 and getting the case that I had lusted at so much, it's going to become a showpiece. I'm just going to put it on the shelf. What we're going to do is replace this case with an NZXT H6 Flow. And there are several reasons. Normally when you buy a case, you gotta get, well, I want this, but I have to sacrifice this. You know, I have to get the nice glass panels, but I'm stuck with getting this stupid USB and power buttons on the top of the case because some people put their computers on the floor like heathens. I would have gladly taken this plastic piece off, but the controls are melded into it. So you can't take this off to increase airflow, to reduce the heat problem, because then you wouldn't have any power buttons and USBs. So I guess at some point in time, I'm supposed to sit here and say that this is not a sponsored, I paid for this, okay? This is mine. Nobody contacted me, well, no one ever contacted me. But yeah, my case, I purchased it and because I saw it, I liked it, and it ticked all the boxes. It tickled my boxes. Yeah, the box, and I don't know about you, but she's thick. Chunky case. All right. I actually saw this where it has this, I don't know if it's a 45 degree, but the fans are sitting here at an angle. And I saw this and I said, I like that. I like that a lot. So here we go. We got one screw, that's it. Okay, that's actually nice. I like that. So here's the things I did love about this case. One, the unorthodox fans here in the front, they're off to the side. Two, you get this unblocked glass right here in the front, and I love that. I saw that, I was like, I really like that. I'm hoping to have my rad here on the top of the case. But the other thing was, you can mount two 120s on the bottom blowing air up. So you'll have three fans in the front and two at the bottom. And these two are just gonna be blowing that nice, happy, fresh, cool air onto the GPU. So you'll have 3 and 2 pulling air in, and 3 on the top, 1 on the back, exhausting air. There is tons of room. The other thing I saw was, look at the gap here. The motherboard's gonna be right about here. Then you've got all this freaking, look how gargantuan the gap is here for the cabling. I love that. But then you got this huge space. You can put a nice rad right here. Like, there is so much beautiful room. Notice right here, cabling comes right here, so it comes out and you can do a much better radius. between here and the motherboard. And I like that as well. I'm curious to see how well that works out. Lots of ventilation in the back. There's no filters. It's just nice mesh. No filters down here either, just nice mesh. So I'm gonna tell you people, don't buy this if you're gonna put this on the floor, because this thing, especially down here, is just gonna be a vacuum. This is definitely a display piece, and I like it. Look how much of a mesh, like the power supply, you can either and it does look like you can change the orientation of the power supply. You can either have the fan pulling air off the bottom of the motherboard, or if you want the power supply to stay completely cool, flip it around where the fan is sucking in fresh air from the side. This is why I'm so happy. USBs, audio, and power button on the bottom front of the case, exactly where they're supposed to be. That is where it's supposed to be. Not on the top of the case, because our beautiful enthusiast computers do not belong on the floor. I don't care what anybody says. You don't kick an enthusiast computer. It sits next to you proudly on your desk. It's not a frickin' Roomba or some trash bin that goes on the floor. No, it belongs on your desk. And if you don't have a desk big enough, you get a desk big enough. I used a folding table for years in order to keep my computer next to me, smiling at me, reminding me how gorgeous it is. All right, let's get building before I start drooling. In my boyish excitement over this case, I didn't really read the instructions. I mean, who really does? Let's be honest here. I saw fan holes. I thought fans, good we go. These are not 120 mil. A little too much of a gap there. These are 140 mil. So, unfortunately, the only ones I've got are these Noctua 140s that I am borrowing from a friend of mine. So we'll be using those. So anybody looking at this case, 140 mil on the bottom. You can use 140 mil on the top or 120s. I'm doing 120s because of this rad right there, if I can get to it. But everything, all my other fans are 120 mil. First snag, gotta guess. I'll play around with it until I go, good enough. So the hard drive caddy is actually kind of unique. I've already popped it out, but you have a single, it's hard to see right here. You got a single screw right there and a couple of catch tabs. And all you do is you lift up, it pops out. What's unique about this, and I kind of like it, is it has space here for a full-size 5.5 drive, but it also has space here for two 2.5 inch drives. Now, it has enough space for an SSD and probably a notebook drive, but if you're one of those crazy people trying to think if you can load like a Seagate Enterprise drive into it, unfortunately, it does not fit. So the little box that the H6 comes in, you get a nice little assortment of screws. You get these almost like fender screws. Maybe they're longer ones for fans. I'll need to figure that one out. But you also get an assortment of other screws as well, and all individually organized. It's not like one little bag everything tossed into. They're kind of organized. And a handful of zip ties. A little basic manual. But this, for a $100 case, a $110 case, this is nice. I'm thoroughly impressed with packaging and overall design of this case. NZXT, good job so far. So far I haven't found anything I haven't liked. So far I'm like impressed with it. So, okay. The attention to detail with this case has already begun to blow me away. I've got this fan mounted here, and all of a sudden I notice there's this little metal tab right there. And I'm like, what is that? Is that a cable hook? Is that a place to put the fan cable hook to make it dressed up? The attention to detail with this NZXT case, like whoever did this little guy right here, that you wins the internets right there. Look at that. Look how, that's what we need. More case designers doing little important things like that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So if you look real closely, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see how you've got these huge channels right here. Air was restricted, and that's all the air. You had more fan restriction than you had fan airflow. So I've gone ahead and decided, I've got all my fans pulled. I've ordered 2 more Arctic Cooling Bionics because I want matching fans. All of these match. If you notice, I've got the Gundam. I got a really good deal on that motherboard. So I got fans that kind of matched it. The only thing I don't have is red, or the blue. But I went with the white and gray with black theme, and it kind of matches the board. First thing we're going to do is this, and I wanted to show you guys this. Like, you don't see screws or anything, but watch this. Pops off with ease. Case designers, just take notes. Like, you'll need a fat notebook for this case alone on what to do right. I'm loving it. So yeah, these fans are going to come out. I'm going to check the CFM, but I want to make these the Bionics. These, I'm assuming these may have a higher CFM, but the main thing I'm trying to find a good balance between looks and airflow. So the first thing I've noticed, I'm starting to pull out the NZXT fans that are coming in here. Now, I've read on forums and stuff that people are complaining that they're not advertising. These are the RFQ12CRs. So these, understand, when you buy the H6 Flow, these are non-PWM. Essentially, they cannot be controlled. You apply voltage and they run. They are just full tilt. Some people have complained about the noise on these. Some people said they're quiet. I don't know. It's very hard to find information on this. The best I can find is these are a 1500 RPM and they run like 60 CFM. So I'm going to go with these Bionics because these go up to, these are variable from 500 to 2100 RPM. And on top of that, these are like 68 CFM with the rubber mounting, so it's going to be quieter, happier, all that yum good stuff. And plus, they're just sexier. And I did just order the 240 mils matching these, so the entire case is going to be matching fans. Yay! So she is starting to take shape of how I want. I got these fans replaced and it's looking really good. Now you can kind of see the gray and white theme. Reason why I went with these fans, because they match the board. But for those of you wanting about rad thickness, if you're using 120s, it'll just barely fit, but you can see the bolts kind of right there on the heat sink of the motherboard. So you may want to verify clearance. If not, you may have to use thinner fans or stick to 120s, because if you try to go something with, like, say, a 140, you might be able to get it in there if you can get the bolt past this, but you're going to have to verify clearance right here. That's so far as the only major issue I have. Beyond that, it's going together quite well. Just got these fans in, just got this mounted, but I got to pull it back out because I need to get the power connector. I wanted to check fitment before I got too carried away. I haven't even got the power supply in here, but she's looking pretty damn schwanky. And it's never a bad time to reapply some thermal paste, because yummy. You know those moments when you've got your hand in here and you're working and all of a sudden you notice you're bleeding all over it? This is how your computer tells you it loves it. So the build is coming along very nicely. So slowly but sure getting everything cabled, got the GPU and everything in there. Starting to get the fans wired up. But yeah, just got to remind myself the sharp, ridiculously sharp heat sinks on motherboards. It's because my motherboard loves me. Yeah, it's because my motherboard loves me. And voila. So I've done my best to hide as much of the wires. You can, if you kind of look closely, you can kind of see some of it. I do love the cable straps in the back, but I'm not going to show them right now because I had to do some things in the back for wiring that I'm not used to, and it's not as pretty as I like. So we're just not gonna talk about it right now. We're just gonna leave it alone and just look at the front and just ooh ah. All right, I think we're about close time to powering this bad boy up without looking at the back wires, because we're not talking about that. God, I just love that. One-handed. Just amazing, I love it. NZXT, this is beautiful, man. Just love you guys. Oh, look at that. And there we go. All fans are showing up. 11 Gen i9. I have to say, there's so much about this case that I really like. And look, just the lines on it are clean. The NZXT H6 Flow. And I'm gonna give my final personal thoughts. I have high praises for it. You cannot go wrong getting this case. When I was running the EVGA, the GPU was locking up due to thermal throttle or thermal overtemp. So we can safely say that's about 90 to 95 degrees Celsius. And when I was running for periods of time, I could feel the heat in this area through the glass. It was running extremely hot. Right now, the entire glass pane is about room temperature. Now, mind you, it's warmer in here now. It's about 80 degrees in here. It's summertime. We're pushing like 116 outside, so my AC is doing what it can. But if we look at these numbers, my CPU has hit a max of 73 degrees Celsius, currently cruising at 54. If you come down to here to the GPU, look at that. I've hit a max of hotspot at 72 degrees Celsius. So I'm probably seeing a 20 degrees Celsius drop just with this case. And everything else is the same. Same GPU, same motherboard, same processor, same AIO, same fans, other than 2 extra Nocturas on the bottom, which are soon going to be replaced. I love how the front looks. I love having the USB. My headphone cable plugs down there at the bottom. When you look at it at angles like this, it looks like a standard case, but you can see the chunkiness from the side, but that's fine. I love the way you have this minimalist bottom where the power supply is now in the back. And I was kind of resistant against that until I saw this case, and I was like, you know what? That's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to say that if you're looking into a budget build, this is the case you want to go with. It is such an easy case to work with. I have more room for my large gorilla hands to get inside the case and do things. There's so much cable management in the back that I didn't use any zip ties. I probably should have, but I didn't. It's a gorgeous case. I thoroughly enjoy building with it. It was a breeze. There's so many little things that just are right. You can't go wrong with it. So yeah, link in the description below. It helps me out. If not, just search for it online and be happy with your next build.
One eternity later.
Thought I was done, but I'm not. We are back a couple of days later because dun, 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 we're going to install the new fans and After running a couple of days, I missed my blue lighting inside there, because I can't see everything, so we're gonna light this thing up. I already know I can't do lighting here, and I don't want it shooting down the glass, so we're gonna have to get a little creative. And voila, LEDs are in. So yeah, I got the two fans in there. The first two, like I showed, they get right up here on the top. These are in there, and I've got the three. I may have to print out a few more of these just so I can keep that LED strip a little bit straighter. And from this angle, you can kind of see the blue backing sticking out, but it's not bad. If this was a customer's computer, I'd probably say I can't do it like that, but being as this is mine, I don't care. This H6 Flow case, just absolutely gorgeous. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky